Admiral Diakopoulos, thank you for your conference. A few weeks ago, 2 weeks prior to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, you explained in an article that Russia and Turkey greatly profited from decreasing American interests and from European weakness. The development of a Franco-Greek cooperation is very useful to Greece. Does Greece expect more from the European Union in terms of security guarantees, especially considering this decreasing American guarantee? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will start by explaining a little bit what is this condominium approach that Turkey with Russia had. Condominium approach was that, for example, in one subject or in another, they were in opposing directions. But they would rather manage the situation between themselves, excluding the West, than having any third party intervening. Because they understood, for example, that in Syria or in Libya, other powers will intervene. If we manage to exclude them, then we can split between us according to our relative power. And this is what they were doing. And this is the condominium approach. Of course, that was a problem for Greece and for the West in general. Now, could Greece really base its security on European Union? That would be nice. Because for Greece, what is the problem? Regarding other NATO countries. The other NATO countries, they have the enemy outside NATO. For Greece, the adversary is within, and that creates an enormous problem in strategic point of view. So what Greece has instead? The European Union, where it's a member, while Turkey is not. But the European Union is not a security organization. And even if we talk about power, European Union is a soft power organization. Now, is there any chance, is there any perspective that European Union will wake up one day to see what happens in its periphery and decides that it needs to have a hard power to protect its interests? That would be nice, but I'm not very optimistic. I'm not very optimistic because security and defense are the hardcore, the noyau dur de souveraineté. As long as we don't pull sovereignty together, it's impossible that we're going to have defense and security on a coherent matter. What happens when Europe feels insecure, as it happens now, is that they run to their American daddy to protect them. And you see that even Germans, that they have changed course. They turned the tables. They're going to invest hundreds of billions to their defense. They're going to buy F-35, not Rafale. They're going to the Americans. That doesn't change, that Greece and France have a very strong relationship forged through the centuries. They are both Mediterranean countries, and they have a common worldview and a common outlook in most of the problems surrounding the area. So it's only logical, it's only rational to have a closer defense cooperation. So for Greece, in order to buy the French frigates, Bellara, for example, or the Rafale, it was as much as a military decision, because the French systems are excellent, but as much a military decision as a political one. So let's have in mind that this procurement of the frigates came with a strategic partnership. A strategic partnership that has a component, a security component, very strong, but it's not that all. In this partnership, if somebody reads the articles, you see that we should coordinate and cooperate more in matters of diplomacy, of foreign affairs, foreign international relations, and that stuff. So I believe that here we can have a small core, a noyau of something resembling European defense, which is not something against NATO. A good Greek-French cooperation, since we are members of NATO, can be something good for NATO as well. Or when NATO wants to have a fourth generation, we can have a Greek and French force coming to help. But it can be the beginning of a European defense, hopefully.
Thank you, Admiral. Talking about Belarus frigates, which have been sailed from Naval Group to Greece after the bilateral defense agreements between Greece and France from September 28, 2029. Can you tell us more about these frigates and in what type of operation will they be used?
They are for any type of operations. Now, these are frigates very modern and very capable. So you can use them in any type, from humanitarian relief operations to war. Now, regarding this purchase of the French frigates, powerful frigates, and let me say that it's not the first time that Greece goes to France to buy its weapons. Even when the problems with Turkey started in 73, 74, we bought the combatant fast patrol boats. And when we decided to modernize our Air Force, we split the purchase to half, it was F-16 at the time, and half were Mirage, Mirage 2000 at the time. And now we have these excellent frigates, which is state-of-the-art. You buy such kind of frigates, and with this partnership, strategic partnership agreement, not to use them in a type of war, but explicitly in order not to use them. These are the biggest, if you want, weapon for dissuasion, for deterrence. So we buy all these weapons from France, and we have this partnership agreement with the explicit aim that we will never need to use them.
Thank you, Admiral.
You're welcome.